Awesome. Yo, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Yehloe the Poet here. And today we have Miss Sally, do I pronounce it Giman? Gimmon? All right, Miss Sally Gimmon, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
And Miss Sally Gimmon is going to give us some information about taxes, ladies and gentlemen, capital gains, short and long-term interest, income, dividends, you name it. When it comes to the financial part of it, we are going to get some information today. And this information is going to benefit everybody. Welcome, Miss Sally. We are definitely happy to have you here and looking forward to getting some of this good information out to the people. Make sure you definitely go in and check out Miss Sally Giman. We will definitely have a link posted here. We will also have a link posted at the end of the video. Please check her out, ask questions, find out whatever it is that you need to know that's going to help you in your financial situations.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you giving me this time.
Indeed. Thank you so much. When I saw that you were dealing with things like this, financial things, I was like, I definitely want to reach out to you. I definitely want to have something like this on the show so that our people can actually see the things that are going on in the world today and some of the things that happened in the past that are still affecting us today. But a lot of people don't understand that and they don't know about it. And we're going to wake them up today.
We're going to shake them up. And everyone complains about taxes. I do have a solution for people. And when I talk to people, when people start figuring things out, they're like, wow, it's a lot of money people are saving. And I'm not anti-government, but the first page of the IRS tax code says it's up to each individual to save their own taxes. That's what I want to teach to people. I'm not a CPA. I'm an investor, and I found this out. I want to share it with others.
Yes, indeed. And that's a blessing. We're definitely looking forward to that. One of the things that I was definitely most intrigued by, which is something that we actually just talked about a little bit before the show started, was the tax, U.S. citizens paying taxes in the first place. If you could, please enlighten everyone on how this situation actually got started.
Thank you. The true story, back in 1913, it was the first time the federal government started charging taxes because they were going to get ready to go into World War I, and they needed to beef up for World War I. The promise to the country was after the World War I, taxes would end. Oh, no. I was telling you my statistic. My undergraduate degree was in English literature. Think of all Shakespeare's plays, Romeo and Juliet, As You Like It, Midsummer Night's Dream, line them up. And the US tax code is 10 times the size of Shakespeare's work. And trust me, Shakespeare's a whole lot more interesting to read than the US tax code. So there's so much in the tax code. CPAs don't know this. I mean, it's interesting. I've had CPAs tell me I'm a liar. And one CPA actually said I was a liar. I gave him a book to read. He called me back and he sent me over 100 clients because he wants his clients to start saving federal taxes too. And I want to educate people. That's all I want to do.
Yes, indeed. There's one thing I learned about it is that we weren't initially supposed to be paying taxes. And once they cut this off, that was supposed to be it. I can see them actually asking us to do it again if such an incident would occur. But there hasn't been another incident like that since then. So I don't like the fact that they're taking advantage of the people and having us consistently paying something that we shouldn't have been paying in the first place.
Exactly. And then to get involved with states, there's you can also save state taxes because it's a contract. And if you get everything in the trust and don't have anything outside the trust, you don't pay state taxes. So one of my clients in Illinois, not to make fun of the Illinois, but the state charges them 4.95% on any money they make for state taxes. He's saving that too on top of saving 1099 income. It's a beautiful thing.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, you trust me, I'm from Illinois. I'm from Chicago. That's where I'm
Oh, you're
born.
from, okay, so you know about this, okay.
Yes, indeed. I'm
Well,
born.
you're in Texas now and you don't have to worry about state taxes in Texas, so,
Exactly. And that's a blessing too, to not have to worry about state taxes. I
correct.
mean, you'd be surprised how much more money you actually save when you don't have that additional burden or financial stress that's doing something on top of what you're already trying to make and how you're trying to survive. It definitely makes a difference. So definitely, how can the people in our country now, how can we actually benefit from the things that you've been teaching?
I appreciate that lead in. With this trust, there's it's called full name, irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, spendthrift trust. And it's split in half. There's the business trust for 1099 income. You might be a salesperson, an affiliate marketer, a real estate agent. I run 3 online stores. My 1099 income goes through the business trust. I can legally say you're going to save 70%, but some of my clients are saving over 90%, 92%, and more than that. To give you an example, one of my new clients, he has 2 pizzerias here near the Charlotte area, fantastic New York style pizza. I know you're from Chicago, you have your thick loaf of bread, but
That's a big loaf of bread.
I lived in Phoenix and we had so much Chicago pizza there, and now it's everybody in Charlotte is from Long Island, so we have New York pizza. But for him, he makes about $12,000 between his 2 pizzerias. Good for him. He's at 28% tax rate. The tax rate's between 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. You have to tell me what your tax rate is. We are going to save him at 70% over $28,000 every single year. He's 40, let's say he's about 45 years old. He's got a 13-year-old and he's got a 10-year-old. He's going to save for them to go to college. And his goal is to open up a 3rd pizzeria, a 4th pizzeria. And the 1099 income is going to be saved like that. We were talking about being in Chicago. Another client who sells commercial lighting, he makes about $10,000 a month. He's going to save about $24,000 a year, plus an extra $5,000 because he's not paying Illinois state taxes anymore. And he's like, he doesn't work that hard. He only works 3 days a week. He's going to start working harder. So that's the business trust.
Yes.
The beneficial trust, you're a poet. I don't know how much you're paying in royalties, but you're going to stop paying capital gains, short-term and long-term. You're going to stop paying interest income, dividend income, rental income, and royalties year after year, decade after decade. The Rockefeller's trust, it's the exact same trust. They call it the office. It's 7 generations old. It has almost 400 people using the same EIN, but separate bank accounts. They're not commingling their money. If it's good enough for the Rockefellers, it's good enough for us too.
Yes, indeed. I agree.
Yes.
Wow. It almost sounds like money laundering.
I was telling you, I have CPAs who tell me that this isn't true. I'm not making fun of CPAs. I'm dyslexic. I would never work with numbers, but a good textbook, you can get this from Amazon, is called the Scott and Asher on Trusts, 5th edition. It's what trust attorneys study in law school. I've had 2 CPAs who download the book and then contact me later. And they're like, one CPA, a guy who came to my Monday night presentation, his parents have 5 apartment buildings in the Bronx. They're planning on selling them. He took it to the CPA. His CPA said it was a lie. I sent the link for Amazon to the gentleman who showed up. The CPA called me a week later and has now sent me over 100 clients to help them save taxes. I mean, it's awesome. Win-win-win, because he's getting JV $600 for each client he refers to me. His clients are saving taxes. They're sending more friends to him as the CPA, and we're helping everybody.
Oh, wow. I heard you mention JV. So is JV a part of this?
Correct. You said you're a preacher. You have friends that you have a whole group of people I have no access to. But if you send them my way and you use my affiliate link, sometimes it takes up to 6 months, 7 months for someone to buy the trust. but
Right.
at least I'll know this person's coded in my database with your affiliate link. And when I get paid, then I will send $600 by check, by Zelle, by PayPal, by Cash App, however you like to receive your money. My business brokers love this. They're sending me, because when you sell a business, just to give you an idea, when you sell a business, you're going to take what you started the business for and what you sold it for, that in between, the federal government is going to take either 15% or 20% on the sale of the business. So someone who just sold a restaurant, he's 69, sold a 42-year-old family restaurant, he either saved $450,000 or he saved $600,000. His wife called me in happy tears going, that changes our retirement. You know, what if one of them has a stroke? What if one of them falls and breaks their hip? They're
Yeah.
going to have extra money to pay for their health coverage. They were going to have to pay to the federal government instead. So his son saw a TikTok video and showed it to his dad. And then we had talked to his business broker. So TikTok works.
Cool. Yes, indeed. That is so cool. So in the part about insurance, does insurance also play a part in this? Because some people get insurance on their businesses and things happen where maybe some type of accident or something that happens like that. How does that affect that?
Correct. Insurance is tax-free, so that's a good thing. The other thing that can happen, have you ever heard of a concept called infinite banking?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Do
Yes,
you have a policy?
I don't, but I have heard of it.
Okay.
It's just, I do a lot of research and reading.
Well, infinite banking, for those who don't know, it's the secret of the rich. Just give you an idea. Walt Disney used his infinite banking policy to buy the acreage out in Anaheim for Disneyland, because he couldn't get someone to invest in his dreams. But with infinite banking, I have one policy I started in November of 2019 at One America. The day I started, there was a press release. Warren Buffett started his 5th policy with One America. So Warren Buffett and I are 1 degree separation. I know it. He has no idea who I am. But that policy was too old to put into the spendthrift trust. My second policy, I started, the trust pays for it. I don't want to get too technical with you, but it's at what's called MEC, Modified Endowment Contract. The federal government decides how much they can insure you for. So you and I are exact same height, exact same weight. You're a CPA and I'm in food industry. You can be insured for more than I am. Well, it's at MEC, and in my policy, I'm required to pay $500 a month, $6,000 a year, but I can put up to almost $2.9 million into that policy, get paid compounded interest rate, 4% compounded interest rate plus dividends, and I have to pay some taxes on it, but the spendthrift trust is covering that.
Right.
I use this to invest with, and then when I do pass away, it's going to go to my heirs, and they'll have tax-free money because it's a life insurance policy. You don't get taxed on life insurance policies.
It's definitely a win-win either way.
Yes.
For those of you who don't really understand how the financial end of this is working, you definitely need to make sure that you're reaching out to Miss Sally, because there is a lot to this. And only reason why I'm familiar, because like I said, I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot
Good
of
for
it.
you.
Know, it's hard to get it done between all the things that I'm doing, but I still get it done, because if I can take at least 5 or 10 minutes a day and do some form of researching, I'm going to do that no matter what. And
do you know a sad statistic in the United States? An adult over the age of 21 doesn't even read 1 book a year. So you're putting people to shame because you're doing all this research, and there's so many people out there who are doing nothing.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm out here trying to help people. I'm not trying to put you to shame.
Correct. And for the infinite banking, I do have people who do, like I have contacts to help people who want to know about that, because it's an amazing product, but people don't know about it. Just even having term insurance. Silly Sally, I'm an insurance agent for 20 years. My dad came to me and he was turning 80, and it was going to be $8,000 for him to have life insurance. And I said, oh, we'll just put the money aside and not pay for it. When he passed away because of COVID, I could have used $100,000, an extra $100,000 to pay down some of his debts. I told him not to renew his insurance policy. Shame on me.
Oh, we.
Yeah,
Lesson learned.
a hard lesson to learn. Yes,
Yes, it's tough. It's tough because it's a lot that like you said, everyday people. It's a lot that everyday people don't know, and there's a lot of information that's being kept away from us. So people are taking this information and hiding it or harnessing this information. Then how is it that we get a hold of it? I mean, there's always a way to get a hold of information, but how do everyday people get a hold of this information and we don't even
Right.
know where to start?
correct. I don't want to use his name because I don't want to get in trouble, but there is a real estate guru who I have on recording that he doesn't want people to know this, because let's say you're going to get involved in real estate and you're looking at a deal in your hometown and it's only 8%, it's skinny. You're like, I don't know if I want to do this wholesale deal. He wants to be able to swoop in, take that 8%, save the 23.8% and the capital gains. So he's making a 30% rate of return on that deal. And I'd be like, shame on you. He's a major guru that if I said his name, you would know who he is. I mean, how dare he have the trust and not tell the people who follow him how they could be saving money? I don't think that's fair. I've lost respect for that guru.
I totally agree with you on that. That's another thing too. It's like, okay, you do the taxes and the income information. I actually do relationships, because that's one of my biggest things, is ensuring that people have good relationships with one another, and mainly in terms of communications and all the various ways that communications can be taught or done. So what I'm looking at is, when you look at what we're doing to actually help people, if we were to hide our information, can you imagine how many people that actually follow us now? How many people that follow us would look at us as we're some type of scammers, we're doing something wrong. But yet, it's like once you reach a certain status, then people still want to follow you. And to me, that baffles me. It's crazy. I would lose respect for someone real fast, knowing that you're hiding information from me when you're actually supposed to be helping.
Exactly. I mean, I used to be on his emails. I attended some of his programs. I'm like, nope, I'm not spending any more money with him as a real estate investor, because he does sell the trust. He's got license to sell this trust, and he only sells it to the people who pay him $100,000 a year. And 3 of my clients are in, I don't know what he calls it, the Platinum Mastermind or something. One of my clients has paid him $100,000 a year for 5 years, and he was never explained, the trust was never explained to him. He has 85 of what's called Burr strategy houses in Texas. He was paying $135,000 a year in interest income, and his friend recommended him. He talked to me, so he's saving that. He started a nonprofit charity that he started a food bank in just outside of Austin to help people who are struggling with food, not enough food, with the money he's saving. He's just like, my family doesn't suffer from food. Let me help others doing that. This is what my clients do with the money they save. It's an amazing thing.
It's just unnecessary greed. I really can't stand people like that. And I'm sorry, but I'm one of those people. I'm going to take that chance, because I will blast you. I will put you on blast, because I just don't like for people to be following someone that's doing them wrong. I mean,
Exactly.
people wrong is bad enough. And then you see that some of the people that you're supposed to be helping are already struggling, but yet you're still taking from them. It's just take. There's no giving back. But one thing I have learned, and this is something that it may take a long time for some, it may take, a short time for others. But when that karma hits you, it's gonna hit you hard, because it'll hit you in a negative way when you're doing negative things, and it hits you in a positive way when you're doing positive things. So I just look, and I'm hearing you, and I just know that energy will reach him eventually. And when it does, hey, you actually
you live the life. I don't care if you're as poor as a church mouse or if you're as rich as Warren Buffett. How you interact, like you said, relationships, how you work with other people, it's your character. If you, one of my favorite books, if you don't mind me mentioning a book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. His entire concept is there's plenty out there. What you do will infringe on what I do. There's plenty of ways to make money, and the rising tide lifts all boats. And I think it's so true. You don't need to cheat people. You don't need to scam people. You don't need to lie to people. It's just, why waste the energy to do such negative things?
Yeah. It's too much. That takes too much energy for me. I'd rather just tell you the truth and be done with it. Because for one, I know me, I'm not going to remember the lie if I told it to you in the first place. So I don't see
it gets so complicated. Correct. As soon as you tell someone a lie, you have to keep. Yeah. It just, why bother? What
No, thank you. I'm good. I'd rather just tell you the truth and be done with it. If I hurt your feelings for that moment, I can apologize for that. But if I'm going to tell you a lie, one lie after the other, that's something that's hard to come back from. And then eventually
it comes back worse when someone finds out you've lied. I mean, I was, if you don't mind me telling a personal story, I was running a mastermind in my real estate group out in Phoenix. I had a financial situation with the gentleman who was running the real estate group. We were in a real estate, we did a real estate deal together, and I got my statement and it was $5,000 off. And I just sent him a simple text saying, hey, what happened to our agreement? Next day, January 13th, 2022, we get on a Zoom, and I don't remember if it's Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Who goes crazy? Do you remember?
It's Mr. Hyde, if I remember correctly.
I think it's Mr. Hyde because he's like, you're calling me a liar. I'm like, I sent you a simple text. What happened to our agreement? That's all I said. Right. He took away my mastermind. He told me he couldn't trust me anymore. I was shell shocked. You know, thank God I had a coach. Her comment to me was, you need to move. You need to join a new real estate group, and you need to start your own business. I was, how do I say it? I was living the high life, you know, teaching a mastermind, selling trust in my real estate group, doing really well. March of 2022, I started my own business. I moved to North Carolina. It's only gotten better. I've done more real estate in 2022 than the other 3 years combined. I have contracts with people, joint venture contracts with people. I'm helping regular people. I mean, I just helped someone sell how do you pronounce it? HVAC store, or have it?
Yeah.
You know, he started it up. He's 68 years old. His knees are killing him. He's got to get a knee surgery, so that's why he sold it. He saved either $160,000 or he's saved $600,000 just doing this. And he goes, that's going to pay for my knee surgery and me being laid up for 8 weeks or something like that. And you know, again, a friend told him, talk to me, and the friend got $600, and he was able to sell his business. And the gentleman buying his business got also got the business trust, because he's going to be making 1099 income, because the guy built up this business beautifully in Georgia, and just outside of Atlanta.
I stayed in Georgia, and I used to try to work with some of the guys who did. They call it HVAC. It's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. That's what it is. But I used to try to work with some of the guys. I actually worked with a few of them because I worked at the Hartsfield Atlanta Airport. And
oh, wow.
I used to see some of the guys doing that. And when they found out that I am certified in computer repairs, they was like, man, you need to come on over here. You can do this too. You do this too. But I like it, but it was not something that I felt that I would be, it would keep my interest. I didn't feel like it would keep my interest, because I'm more about business. I'm more about helping people, whereas what they're doing, it helps people, don't get me wrong, but
it keeps the air conditioning on in the summertime.
Exactly. It's just not that interaction that I like to have with people.
It's technical. It's doing, yeah, exactly. I get bored doing technical too. I love talking to people, being on a podcast, things like that. Just meeting people, because you meet so many interesting people.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. So I was looking at the other thing that you had, the interest income, the long term and the short term. So how do people save on that and take advantage of the capital gains?
Correct. So that's the beneficial trust. I do a live every Monday night, 8 p.m. East Coast time. So what, you're in Texas, that would be what, 7 p.m. your time?
I believe so. I think it's like a 6 or 7 hour difference.
I'm bad with times, but you know, I go over a slide deck, open it for question and answering. I do 2 lives on TikTok. I have one tonight at 5 o'clock to get West Coast people. My goal is to teach as many people about this because, you know, the rich, you know, the Rockefellers, I'm going to get political, the US presidents, O.J. Simpson, they have this trust. The poor have a little bit of a safety net. It's us in between the middle class people who are getting squeezed. To give you an idea, if you're doing a real estate deal, if you're wholesaling or doing a fix and flip, capital gains, short-term capital gains on $50,000 would be $11,900 to the federal government, April 15th, 2024. Do 2 deals in 1 year, you've paid for the trust, and this trust goes from generation to generation to generation. It's a beautiful thing.
Wow, that is awesome. That is, oh my goodness. So you guys should, so definitely make sure you all are following Miss Sally on TikTok, definitely, because I'm definitely going to be following you on TikTok, no doubt.
I get more clients from TikTok. I do 6 videos on 6 different social medias, and TikTok, I have more clients coming there from Facebook or LinkedIn. It's amazing. I've only been on TikTok for less than a year, and I do well on there.
You're probably doing better than me. I've been on TikTok for probably 2 years, and I've only got maybe 100 and some followers.
You want a trick for TikTok?
What's that?
Figure out who your avatar is, you know, whatever you're looking at. So for me, I did the Google's your friend. Top 10 TikTokers for real estate. Top 10 TikTokers for Forex investors. Top 10 TikTokers for people talking about dividends. So every 90 minutes, I take number 1 for the real estate. I go to Joe Schmo's site. I go into his followers and I take 30 people and stop. 90 minutes later, I go to number 2, go into that person's TikTok account, take the top 30 people, stop. You want to get to 1,000 followers. You don't care who your followers are till you get to 1,000 followers. You can put your link, so that my link is the trust is you. Someone can click on it and get straight to my website. And then when I can start going live, and the beautiful thing about TikTok, if you're on LinkedIn and Facebook, it's only the people who you're connected to, and that's all your information goes to. Right. TikTok sends it out to any hashtag you use, and people you don't know can come onto your lives. I don't bring anyone on live because I had a guy who showed up naked. Woo! It was interesting. So I was just like, oh, so sorry, let me get him out, you know, because it's on my phone. I'm like, I can't shut it off fast enough, you know. But you know, people who aren't connected to you will come start watching your lives, and it'll be out there for 90 days. They can watch your live over and over again. And I mean, that's why I get so more clients from there. So what I just taught you, I have taught someone who is does cruises. She went live and she did a cruise out of Los Angeles. I'm making the numbers up. A cruise from Los Angeles port to Cabo, $500. Contact me. She sold 9 cruise packages in 1 week. And the month before, she hadn't even sold 4 of them. So, you know, TikTok, there's so much business to be done there. Another one of
I don't have enough to do a live. They won't let me do live because I don't have enough subscribers.
Correct. So you know, your followers, go out to the people who are following you, take their top 30 people. They're the most active on TikTok, and just start doing that. Another one of my clients, not a client, it's a friend. I'm going to make a course on this. She's an Avon salesperson. She's in Spokane, Washington, so she can sell in Canada and the United States. So she got enough people, and she goes live. She goes, this lipstick comes in 16 different colors, and it's less than $10. If you would like this, she's selling more Avon now because of TikTok than ever before. And the people who come to her Avon store just don't buy a lipstick. They buy a lipstick and something else and something else. Right. Another person, my friend Stu, I have to make fun of Stu. He does the worst dad jokes about keto dieting you've ever heard. So he does one video every day. He goes live. He brings people to his Facebook group where he sells his recipe book. You're a poet. He sells his recipe book on his Facebook group, and they interchange recipes and things like this. He's now one of the leading top people for keto dieting on TikTok. I don't do keto dieting, but he loves it. He lost over 90 pounds doing the keto dieting. So TikTok is a beautiful thing for people to work with.
I love TikTok. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I just wish that, I mean, thanks to you now, I'm definitely going to go ahead and do this, but I just wish that I had more followers. I wish that I was able to capitalize on that so that I could actually get the message out to people about these different types
Start following. My handle on TikTok is @SpendthriftTrust. All the other social medias, it's my first name and last name. Having a strange last name helps, but but follow me. Start taking some of my followers. I have followers from all over the world following me on TikTok, and it's just I have fun on TikTok. Do you know about the Pomodoro method? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It's on my smartwatch. I only schedule 20 minutes on TikTok to answer people and follow people. When my watch goes off, I stop because I could get dragged into doing TikTok all day easily.
Oh wow, that is awesome. I surely thank you for this advice, because this is really going to help me out a lot. But the most
I appreciate it's free advice. Everyone should know how to do that, because email. I only do email in the morning and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't check my email the rest of the day because I can get sucked into email so easily. There's certain things to stay on track. I have to do things correctly.
I don't blame you. I truly thank you so much. This is a blessing. See, secrets that nobody shares, right?
Excellent. I'm so glad I'm teaching you something. Hopefully I will teach one of your listeners something too, because it's all of us should be working together. All of us should know the tricks and trades and things like that.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I was looking at you had rent roll taxes. Now that's one that I'm not familiar with. Do you help us understand what that is?
Correct. I'm sorry, which one? Royalty taxes?
Rent roll. It says rent roll.
Rent roll. So if you have if you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, Verbo, traveling nurses, or students, and then long-term rental income. Maybe you have 10 doors, 20 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily. Most of my people who have rental income can take depreciation. Not in the trust, you can still do that, but with the trust, the 3 ways it saves you is federal taxes, keeps your information private. So an LLC, an S corp, or C corp does not do that. And then for someone who has rental income, so let's say, do you own your home, or are you renting your home in Texas?
It's in my home. I'm renting the home in Texas.
You're renting, okay. Not making fun of you, but let's say you have a dog who gets loose and bites the mailman. Well, the mailman's gonna be smart enough that if you're the renter, you might not be worth as much as a person who owns a home might own other homes. So with the trust, if you put everything into it, you will not have. I can't stop you from being sued, which is an important, we live in a litigious society. But if someone sues you, they only can sue you, the individual, but you own nothing. Everything's in the trust. So a case in point, one of my clients, he has 100 doors in Chicago. He has people who are renting from him. He and I are in the same national real estate group. Back in 2021, I was sitting next to him. They gave us assigned seats. Patrick was livid. One of his renter's dogs got loose, bit the mailman. Patrick had 100 doors, so he only had 50 LLCs. So two properties in each LLC. The attorney found this dog who got loose, and then another one. The mailman, good for the attorney. The mailman got paid $400,000 in liability. Patrick was mad. Patrick started the trust. He now has 120 doors in Chicago, loves it. I've never seen his RV, but last summer, think of the most expensive RV. It's like $250,000, right?
Yeah.
Patrick couldn't slow down. He hit the car in front of him, pushed that car into the car that was stopped in front of her. No one was injured, thank God. The woman jumps out, sees this very expensive RV. Patrick has a bus license to drive it. The insurance card is in the trust's name. Patrick's license is his own name. She's not injured. The two cars were fixed. She sued him for $250,000 for pain and suffering, but could only sue Patrick, who's worth nothing because he has nothing in his own name but his driver's license. Everything was in the trust. She had no idea he had 120 doors in Chicago making really good rent. He's worth quite a bit of money in Chicago. The lawsuit went away because he's worth nothing. And he's like, you saved me $250,000. That's a huge lawsuit. And I'm like, I didn't do it. You bought the trust. You saved that money. So.
Oh my goodness, that is
so
awesome.
It works on so many levels for people.
Oh wow, that is super awesome. I love that. I love it. Because some of these people just out to get people. They don't care about helping you save.
Exactly.
Any of that. So as far as the people who give royalties, how are they saving?
Correct. I don't know your tax bracket. For royalties, it's between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers. Let's just say your average, you're like at 24%. When you do royalties, they're going to charge any profits. 24% of your profit is going to go to the federal government. With the royalties, it could be an author, a poet like yourself, an actor, mineral rights. One of my clients inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma, 6 oil wells on it. NFTs. One of my clients, her husband does wholesales in Florida. She was in on the meeting. I talked about royalties. She'd never done NFTs before. She put up a picture the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, 2021, in Meta World. She sold it for $1,000. 4 hours, sold it for $1,000. So she decided, I'm going to do one of 100 and sell that. First one's considered 1099 income, but she made $99,000 in 14 days from Saturday of Thanksgiving. 14 days later, she sold 100 pictures. She was at 24%. We saved her $19,600 in royalty income on her 2023 taxes. So far this year, we're now in July, she has done 7 different series of 100 pictures of 7 different pictures she did. She sold them all in the Meta World. And I'm sorry, I have to get my calculator out because I don't remember numbers well. So 99,000 times 0.24 times 7. We have saved her in 2023 so far over $166,320 in royalty income. She's paid off her house in Florida. She's taken, her husband was an IT guy. He's now at home doing wholesaling and fix and flipping houses. He walks her 2 older children to school every day and picks them up. The youngest one's not in school yet. She started college funds for her kids. They're the family next door, the millionaires next door. That was a book back in the 80s. She's got a minivan. The husband has a Honda Corolla or something, and they're living completely tax-free now because of her selling artwork in the Meta World. He's doing wholesaling houses in Florida, and they're both saving so much money in taxes.
Definitely. So for all of my people out there, oh my goodness, I can't tell you this enough. Please get with Miss Sally. This information is powerful. There are so many people not sharing information like this in order to help common people, everyday people, get ahead in life. And we want the opportunity to get ahead in life. So when you have someone like Miss Sally that's willing to share this information, please, by all means, take advantage of the opportunity. I didn't say take advantage of Miss Sally. I said take advantage of the opportunity to learn from Miss Sally, because you definitely don't want to be trying to take advantage of people. That's not cool. That's not something that we are advocates of, not here, not happening. But take advantage of this information, because this is the type of information that we all need. And it's hard to find. It's really, really hard to find, especially if you don't know what's looking.
I just had somebody on Monday His site is called Passive Investing. He talked to his CPA, and his CPA told me, I told him I was lying. He didn't want to talk. I had met him. We went to lunch back in June. There was a convention here. He's not going to tell his investors how to save taxes because his CPA gave him bad advice. There's so much bad advice out there that I want to. This is legal. It's in the IRS tax code. It's been in front of the Supreme Court. I have court documentation to share with you if you need it. So thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you for coming. This has been a true blessing, and we've learned so much today. Like I'm really, really ecstatic about this. I'm pretty much ready to just try to jump in and see what I can do to make my situation better. Because
exactly, you're doing so much. You've got you told me a coloring book. You've got a poetry book. You've got another book coming out. Look at your taxes. Look how much you could be saving with things, because people don't know this at all. 97% of the trusts sold every year, just to give you a statistic, is what's called a family trust. My mom and dad had this. Susie Orman talks about this on public television. The only thing it does is avoid going through probate when someone dies, and then it dissolves. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This is what the Rockefellers and US presidents use. I hate to say it, but what O.J. Simpson used, so he didn't have to pay the lawsuits and things like that. I mean, O.J. Simpson lives well with his trust.
Hey, just one thing I'll say is we have to actually pay close attention to like the people who have these big names and doing such big things. We got to pay attention to these things because this is where we learn from. These are the people we learn how to get ahead and learn how to do things differently from what the system has taught us. Because if we're going to stick to what the system has taught us, we're never going to learn anything.
Yes.
But that is true.
Exactly.
The system doesn't really teach us.
So you learned about TikTok. You learned about the trust. I appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you so much. Is there anything that maybe you've taught on another podcast, or maybe you teach in your class that we haven't asked about here that you would like to share with us?
I do have a website. It's called learnwithsallymarie.com. It's the Circle of Wealth. I don't know if you've heard about gift giving, but it's one time, $10 and 3 recruits. When you get, that's all you have to do. You give someone $10, your first recruit gives you $10, second recruit $10, third recruit $10, and then you're done. First board, you make $7,500 tax-free in the United States, but anybody in the world can do this. The second board, you'll make $72,000 tax-free. And I just want to teach people, I paid off $184,000, credit card debt, 2 car payments. My 3-week-old car got T-boned. I went through in a green light. The guy T-boned the side of my car. I mean, if I can pay off debt, anyone can pay off debt. I'm in the process of getting it as a nonprofit, and I'm teaching it in churches here in North Carolina.
That is awesome. That is so awesome.
But the only thing I ask is if you download that, please contact me, because I messed up the board. I was putting people, I've recruited 39 people and I put them on the board incorrectly. So I have to correct my mistake. That's my only caveat for that. But I will make sure anyone who wants to get on there, again, you use PayPal, you use Cash App, or you can Zelle people. Or one of my friends is using a Bitcoin account. She's making her money through Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin with it. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. So
I was just thinking about that too. It's funny that you said that. I was just sitting there thinking, like, can any of this tie into a Bitcoin account?
Yes, yes.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You can beat the information that you got here today, people. Please talk to Miss Sally. Follow Miss Sally. Do whatever you need to do, but especially, since your biggest fan base is on TikTok, make sure that all you TikTokers get out there and follow Miss Sally, because she is definitely helping people to do some things that we haven't been able to do as everyday common people, and myself
Exactly.
Myself included, I'm definitely gonna take advantage of this opportunity. It's Sally.
Thank you. I don't want to come off as a know-it-all. I just want to help people. They say Bankrate.com in November of 2001 said 80% of Americans have $90,000 in debt and are not saving 10% for retirement. My goal is to bring that down by 1% every single year. And the $90,000, it could be student loans, it could be mortgages, it could be car payments, it could be medical payments, it could be all kinds of stuff. And it's sad to go into Walmart and see the greeter, a 90-year-old greeter, saying hi, and you're like, oh, I wish someone had helped you 50 years ago.
Yes. It's so crazy. You mentioned student loans, and I'll just sit here thinking like, okay, what about those people who have student loans? How can they benefit from this?
Exactly. Well, with the gift giving, again, there's a website and it switches over to another thing. But what if you got an extra $1,000 a month to pay down your student loans faster? Do you know when you start getting Social Security, if you have not paid off your student loans, they garnish your Social Security check to pay for those student loans?
Just
you know that. Okay. Yeah, I used to be a Medicare broker. Worst job in the world. People hate paying for Part B. They yell at you.
Yes, they do. They do. They definitely yell at you. And like it's your fault that they ran up a bill.
And there's so many. I don't know about for you. I've lost friends to drug overdoses. I've lost friends who have just not come back from COVID. Just to give them hope. That's all I want to do, is give them hope and a way to pay down debt very easily. I'm a big football fan. I buy a Little Caesars pizza, cheese pizza to watch football. I didn't buy it. I saved $7.27. So one Sunday, August of 2022, didn't buy my pizza so I could do the gift giving tree, because I wanted to show people how easy it was. So don't go to Starbucks twice in a week. You've got your $10.
Wow. And I do go to Starbucks. Starbucks is one of my main places. I go to Starbucks so much that they actually know me and know.
There are plenty of people out there just like a friend of mine. It's Dunkin' Donuts. We go to 3 different Dunkin' Donuts here in the Charlotte area. They all know her name and they know exactly, but it's decaf, 2 creams, and 1 sugar. And I'm like, Ingrid, this is sad. 3 different Dunkin' Donuts. That's sad.
But it really makes you feel good. It makes you feel like people are actually taking an initiative to get to know you and know what you want. So it actually feels pretty good.
Correct. And again, if I can help you, if I can help your family, because you just said your stepdaughter's in the military, you're taking care of your granddaughter, that's all I want to do, is just help as many individuals. Just what can you do with an extra money every month? You could help a family member, you could help your church, you could help a charity. You're in charge. You'll have so many more options when you have more money in your pocket.
Indeed, that is so true. And I'm actually working on a program because I just started my online store probably about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And I want to set aside money for helping the homeless or helping the less fortunate in any way I can possibly help them. Because I feel like there are so many people out here who are less fortunate, and because of their situations, they're not taking advantage of any opportunities like these because they don't have the resources, they don't have the time, they don't have anything that can take their minds off of their current situation. And I want to be able to help change the narrative so that they can do something better for them.
Excellent. If I could help you do that, please, we've got email together. I'll work with you on that, because yes, 80%. So somebody, maybe it might be a brother, maybe it might be your cousin, has $90,000 in debt right now. That's a lot of people out there.
It is. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of money that the government is racking up on, because they definitely play a part in it too.
Yes. Banks are not your friends. That's all I'm going to say.
That's so true. That is so true. Thank you so much, Miss Sally. You have been awesome. I am super happy to have met you. I'm
Thank
great
you.
that you came on the show. Thank you for taking the time out. This is amazing. I don't care what anybody else has to say. This is amazing. And please, by all means, let everybody know where they can reach you, how they can reach you, any contact numbers, websites, or however they can reach you, because I want as many people to reach you as possible.
I appreciate that. The site for the trust is www.thetrustisyou.com. On Monday nights, it would be thetrustisyou.com/Q&A. I do it every Monday night, 8 p.m. Even if someone doesn't show up, I just do the presentation, so I get good at it. And then my other site, The Circle of Wealth, the trust is number 5. The Circle of Wealth is learn, Learn, with SallyMarie.com. My older brother named me after a cat. My mom was from Ireland. Firstborn daughters have to be named Mary. And when she saw the birth certificate, she's like, that's not her name. So, but my true name is Sally Marie. So that's in honor of my mom. I use Learn with Sally Marie for that. So again, reach out to me because I have a mistake on the gift giving board. I'm correcting it slowly, but it's not going to affect you. It affects me to correct my mistake on that.
Most definitely. So, Miss Sally, one last thing that I ask of
Yes.
everybody, especially people who are as inspirational as you are, to please take us out with something motivational to help our people have a better day.
My mom taught this to us when she was potty training us when we were really young. When you get up in the morning to do your business and you wash your hands, say in the mirror out loud, I love you, Sally, or your name, and it'll make you smile and it'll put you in such a good mindset for the rest of the day. I don't know where she learned it. She came from she grew up food insecure in Ireland. She left Ireland at age 16 to London. First time she saw electricity was in London, but she learned that she taught to my brothers and I, and it's a beautiful thing to do.
Yes, indeed. That sounds beautiful.
Yes, it's simple, so simple, because you wash your hands and it's not hard to say it.
That is so true. I love myself. You can't help but to say it. Just don't be conceited.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Miss Sally. You have been an awesome, awesome, awesome guest. We are so happy to have met you. I will be reaching out to you via email, via Podmatch, whatever I can reach out to you on. I will be reaching out to you. I will
Excellent.
be following you on TikTok, no doubt. So be looking for me, be looking for me. You're gonna see Yehloe the poet all over your stuff. I'll be all up in there.
Excellent. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful summer. We all deserve to have a good summer this year.
Thank you so much, and you as well. And to you and your people, stay motivated. Stay
Yes.
into the finance. Stay into helping yourself and helping others. Peace and blessings.
Bye-bye.